Hello friends, I'm Krista Fernando. Today we are going to learn AS4 contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. So these are the contents that I've included in the lecture. There is something that you all need to know now, that is contingencies are no longer under this standard. They are now dealt by AS29, provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets. So the present standard deals only with the treatment and disclosure requirements in the financial statements of such events occurring after the balance sheet date. Now, why should we talk about events occurring after the balance sheet date? What is the context to the particular standard? Friends, there is an important principle of accounting which is cutoff. The transactions pertaining only up to the period end date will be considered. That is what is called cutoff. So let it be sales or purchase, income or expense, whichever it is, it should be recorded in the period in which it incurs and should never go to the next period. That is what is meant by cutoff. This is also what we call periodicity concept of accounting. Usually, we transfer all the risks and rewards during a period and record the same in that period. Now, AS4 talks about an exception to such a practice. Ultimately, what we want to achieve from the financial statements is that it should reflect true and fair view of what is really happening in the company. All these what we learn in AS4 might seem to be a deviation from the periodicity concept, but this is not a violation of periodicity. It is all about achieving the overall objective, that is showing the true and fair view of financial statements. So we're going to talk about events occurring after the balance sheet date. This is an explanation related to events occurring after the balance sheet date. So events occurring after the balance sheet date are events which may be favorable or unfavorable to the company, which happens between the balance sheet date and the date of approval of the board's report. I'll make it more clear with the help of an example. Let's first fix the balance sheet date, say 31st March 2019. So the financial year is 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2019. Whatever happens after 31st March 2019 are events occurring after the balance sheet date. This may be favorable or unfavorable to the company. That is, they may be good or bad for the company. Events occurring after the balance sheet date but on or before the date of approval by the board. This will be covered under AS4. I've marked it in the right end of the slide. In simple terms, we can call such events as subsequent events. So that means subsequent events are events occurring after the balance sheet date. Now, what is the relevance of such events after 31st March 2019? For that, let's break subsequent events into two categories. First category will be events which provide additional evidence of conditions that existed at the balance sheet date. And the second category will be events which provide fresh evidence to conditions which did not exist on the balance sheet date. That is, the company didn't even know such an event happened before the balance sheet date and came to know about it later after the balance sheet date. Next slide is about how subsequent events are classified. They will be adjusting or non-adjusting. For an event to be adjusting, a criteria has to be satisfied. A condition must exist on the balance sheet date regarding this event, and an event occurring after the balance sheet date should only provide an additional information regarding the event. For adjusting events, necessary adjustments have to be made to assets and liabilities, and they'll be disclosed in the financial statements. Few examples are discovery of fraud and error that shows financial statements were incorrect, and resolution of a court case, proposed dividend for the financial period. These are examples for adjusting events. And the next one, for an event to be non-adjusting, there will be no evidence of such event existing as the balance sheet date. Then no adjustments will be made, and usually it won't be disclosed in the financial statements. But if the event is significant, it will be disclosed in the report of the approving authority. In the case of a company, it will be disclosed in the board's report, so that the users may make proper evaluations and decisions. An example is takeover of another business unit. And finally, we've come to the disclosure part. So there are two disclosure requirements. First one is the nature of the event. First of all, you have to identify whether the event is an adjusting event or a non-adjusting one. Then you have to quantify the loss of such event. That is what the second point is about. As I've told you earlier, if it is an adjusting event, you have to make the necessary adjustments and disclose it in the financial statements. Whereas if it is a non-adjusting event, then you don't have to disclose it in the financial statements. But if the event is significant, then you have to disclose it in the report of the approving authority. I'll discuss all that I've explained with the help of a question. So this is the question. I'll read it out. In X Company Limited, theft of cash of 5 lakhs by the cashier in January 2017 was detected only in May 2017. The accounts of the company were not yet approved by the board of directors of the company. Whether the theft of cash has to be adjusted in the accounts of the company for the year ended 31st March 2017. Decide. So first of all, you have to identify whether it is an adjusting event or a non-adjusting event. In this case, theft was detected and it was identified that it happened in January. So it existed at the balance sheet date. Since there is already an evidence that the condition existed at the balance sheet date, it is an adjusting event. And it requires proper adjustments in the financial statements. Because if it is an adjusting event, you have to make the proper adjustments. So loss should be recognized for rupees 5 lakhs in that period, 2016-17. And necessary adjustments should be made and it has to be disclosed in the financial statements. So I have one more question. I'll read it out. While preparing its final accounts for the year ended 31st March 2017, a company made a provision for bad debts at 5% of its total trade receivables. In the last week of February 2017, a trade receivable for 2 lakhs had suffered heavy loss due to an earthquake. The loss was not covered by any insurance policy. In April 2017, the trade receivable became a bankrupt. Can the company provide for the full loss arising out of insolvency of the trade receivable in the final accounts for the year ended 31st March 2017? Just like the previous question, first what you have to do is identify whether it is an adjusting event or a non-adjusting one. And here in this case, the company was aware that the trade receivable for 2 lakhs suffered a heavy loss. So it is already an existing condition as on the balance sheet date. And the debtor becoming bankrupt in April 2017 is merely an additional information for the condition that existed on the balance sheet date. So from this, we can say that this is an adjusting event. So since it is an adjusting event, full provision for the entire amount 2 lakhs should be made. So that's all. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked the video, and for more content, stay tuned to our page.